Adebimpe was only 14 years old when she was married off to Chief Olushola, a 60-year-old man, already married to two beautiful women. Adebimpe's father, Mr. Yusuf, borrowed some money from Chief Olushola a year ago, and the only collateral Chief Olushola said he wanted was Adebimpe's hand in marriage if his father was unable to pay the loan on the stipulated time. Adebimpe was born into a poor family in the small village of Okeaba. She was the pride of her parents. She was beautiful, intelligent, and full of promise. But life had never been fair to her family. Her father, Mr. Yusuf, a struggling farmer, barely made enough to feed them. Her mother, Mrs. Yusuf, a petty trader, supported the home with what she could make, selling firewood and vegetables. Still, they found joy in each other's company and hope in the laughter of their children, Adebimpe and her younger brother, Ifeoluwa. But everything changed 2 years earlier when Ifeoluwa fell critically ill. Ifeoluwa was at the brink of death. Mr. Yusuf had run out of money. He had spent all he had and was even owing some of his friends already. He has exhausted all his options, so he had to ask Chief Olushola, the richest and most feared man in Okeaba, for help. Chief Olushola accepted to give him the money, giving him 1 year to pay back with 50% interest. And if he fails to pay him back within that 1 year, his daughter, Adebimpe, automatically becomes his wife. Mr. Yusuf insulted Chief Olushola that very day and angrily went back home. But he came back days later when his son's illness was getting worse and almost at the point of death. He accepted Chief Olushola's conditions and collected the money. His family was not aware of what had transpired. Ifeoluwa became well few months later, and the whole family was very happy, unaware of the storm brewing beneath their joy. 8 months passed, and the loan deadline was drawing closer. Mr. Yusuf had not even gathered 10% of the money he borrowed from Chief Olushola. He was also owing some of his friends, and they've been coming to him one after the other for their money. The pressure choked him. Finally, he confessed to his wife, Mrs. Yusuf. The scream that tore from her throat that night echoed through the village. "You did what?" she shouted. "Adebimpe is just a child. Why would you trade her for money to an old man whose daughters are even married with grown-up kids?" "I had no choice," he murmured, unable to look her in the eye. "I had to save our son." "And now you want to sacrifice our only daughter." "No, not while I'm still alive. Adebimpe will never marry that old man. Not today, not ever." They started searching for a solution. They took up more jobs, toiling from morning to night. But every effort was swallowed by other debts. Time ran out. One evening, with only a month left, Mrs. Yusuf suggested they go and beg Chief Olushola for an extension, even if it's 4 or 6 months, so that they will be able to raise the money. Mr. Yusuf disagreed. He knew the man's heart was made of stone. But after thinking about it without any solution, he agreed. The next day, Mr. Yusuf and his wife went to see Chief Olushola. They waited hours outside his mansion. When he finally arrived, Mr. Yusuf started by appreciating him for the help he rendered to him and his family. He continued by pleading for more time for the repayment because he has not been able to raise the money. While he was still talking, Chief Olushola stood up and said, "I'm expecting my money next month, same date, same time." If you don't have it, prepare your daughter." Mrs. Yusuf fell on her knees immediately, crying and begging him to please reconsider. He turned and walked away, ignoring Mrs. Yusuf. They left his house. Mrs. Yusuf kept crying and shouting, "My daughter cannot marry him." Mr. Yusuf called few village elders for help, pleading with them to help him talk to Chief Olushola. The elders told him, "We can't. You should know Chief Olushola by now. You already know he won't listen to anyone." When the date came, Mr. Yusuf had no money, none at all. And so Chief Olushola came with his entourage, drums, beating, and dancers moving to a rhythm. Adebimpe could not comprehend. Her mother cried uncontrollably, shouting and pleading until she could barely speak. Adebimpe stood in a daze, not fully understanding. She kept looking at her parents, confused. "Mama, what is going on?" Her mother couldn't answer. She could only hold her tight and weep. Ifeoluwa clapped and danced with the drummers, unaware of the doom his sister was being led into. As they made attempts to take her away, she refused and started crying, asking, "Where are they taking her to?" Her father went and talked to her to go with them. She was taken away. Adebimpe turned to look at her family one last time. She was now the third wife of Chief Olushola. That night, Chief Olushola tried to lay with her. She refused. Adebimpe received severe beating and he eventually had his way. Adebimpe was not only abused by Chief Olushola, she also became the housemaid. Every chore, every meal, every floor became her responsibility. She was locked in and forbidden from leaving the compound. The two older wives treated her like a slave. Adebimpe's spirit began to wither. The light in her eyes dimmed. She stopped dreaming. She stopped hoping. A few months later, a new school teacher named Miss Olamide was transferred to Okeaba. Young, passionate, and fiercely protective of girls, she heard whispers of what had happened to Adebimpe. The villagers didn't talk much, but the silence was loud. Curious and concerned, she made discreet inquiries. What she discovered shook her to the core. Adebimpe had been given away in repayment of a loan, a child bride in a man's mansion. Miss Olamide's heart burned with anger. She decided to act. She went to meet Adebimpe's father. She introduced herself and told him that she wants to help, and calmly asked him what actually transpired between him and Chief Olushola. Mr. Yusuf told her everything that happened. She blamed him but understood his reasons. 3 days later, Miss Olamide visited Mr. Yusuf again. This time around, she told him she's willing to help him get her daughter back. She asked him, "Was there any written agreement signed between the both of you?" He said no. She said, "Okay." So they both agreed on a date to visit Chief Olushola.